Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Brooke puts Ridge on the spot in front of Taylor and Hope dumps Carter. Tuesday, March 25, 2025. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter pleads his case to no avail. Daphne asks a favor of Steffi, and Brooke tells Ridge he has to choose. At Forrester Creations, Brooke pleads, "Ridge, please." She complains that he gave up on them. But now we have a chance to change things. She doesn't want to live one more minute without him, and is hoping he feels the same way. "I want you to come back to me." In the design office, Steffi and Daphne cheers with water to their victor. Steffi tells her friend that none of this would have happened if not for her helping bring Carter around. Daphne believes he would have got there on his own, but Steffi doesn't. Hope was in his ear. They celebrate her being out of the company. Taylor comes in and says she's happy for Steffi and her father. I bet Ridge is ecstatic. They go over Hope for the future being suspended and Hope walking out. Steffi scoffs that the Logans are big on dramatics. Taylor asks if Carter and Brooke are gone too. Steffi says no. She had mixed feelings about it and guesses her mother does too. Taylor questions Carter being allowed to stay when he played an instrumental role in making the whole thing happen. Daphne says, instrumental, yes. Carter was an instrument for Hope to get what she wanted. Steffi credits Daphne with helping them save Forrester. Daphne still thinks Carter would have gotten there on his own. She hopes he'll send Hope packing. Taylor muses that given how she left, one has to wonder if it's the end for them. In the main office, Ridge muses that Brooke wants to turn back time. She wants to go back to how things were before all this happened, at least where they're concerned. Ridge recaps that Hope made a lot of bad choices that affected them all. Brooke knows this and regrets it, but she's sure they can get back to being the magical happy couple they were. Do you want that too? Brooke knows Ridge didn't turn to Taylor to hurt her, but it did hurt. It hurt a lot. It still does when she thinks of him living with her at Eric's and building a life with her. What got her through was their love. She believes in it. It can get them through anything, even this. In the cabin, Carter tells Hope that what they have is worth fighting for. Hope sees that his words are hollow. He can't fix this. He broke it. And for what? A seat at the table with Ridge again? Carter couldn't go on with the way things were. Hope fumes that Eric and Ridge played on his guilt, got him to tear up the LSC papers, and tore them apart at the same time. Carter is sorry, but vows this won't be the end of them. We'll come back from this. Carter tells Hope their relationship is being tested, but she thinks he chose the Forresters over them. Carter pleads with her that he loves her and asks her not to close the door on them. Try to understand. Try to forgive me, please. Hope reiterates that this destroyed them. Carter knows it feels that way because she's hurting, but Hope asks, but what? Is he hoping she'll wake up one day and forget this happened? I lost everything. Carter argues that he's right there. Hope hollers that he wasn't there for her. Carter had no idea they would go back on their promise. Hope rants that Steffi has it out for her. Of course, she wasn't going to let her stay on. Carter assures her that he'll convince Steffi to change her mind. She doesn't hate her. She hates what they did. It was wrong, Hope. Why can't you see that? Hope asks why he can't see that the only traitor standing there is him. He was the lawyer who knew about LSC papers, not her. She just supported his dream. My mistake. Carter nods. You supported me. We made this happen, and it was wrong. Stealing the company wasn't right. Hope narrows her eyes. Does he think she manipulated him into signing those papers? Carter says no. He's the one taking responsibility for his actions. He sees it, her mom sees it. When she sees it, they can move on. Carter clarifies that he's not attacking her, he loves her. Hope thinks he loves his job and his brother Ridge a little more. She complains that he cheated on her with Daphne. You've developed feelings for her, haven't you? She put doubts in his head about her, one of the people who supported you the most. Carter sighs in frustration. In the design office, Steffi and Daphne go over Carter deserving much better than Hope. Steffi muses that she thought Brooke would resign in protest when she gave her daughter the boot, but she didn't yet. Taylor asks, "What do you mean?" Steffi says she asked for a moment alone with her dad. She assumes she thinks she's going to salvage Hope's job, or she wants something that has nothing to do with the job.
In the main
Getting
office,
her destiny Ridge never doubted Brooke's love, but what she did was a betrayal on a whole other level. Brooke protests that she did it for him. What matters is that he is back at the company where he belongs. He also belongs back at home with her, in her bed. "I miss you. Tell me you miss me too." She moves in for a kiss as Taylor walks in. "Wow, what's going on here? Or do I have to ask?" Taylor joins them and congratulates Ridge on getting the company back. Brooke is happy that the unfortunate time is over. Now they can move forward. Taylor asks if she's moving forward by making her desperate last appeal. She assumes that's what she walked in on. Taylor informs her she and Ridge have committed to each other in every way. Brooke doesn't want to think about them together and tells her she won't give up on her relationship with Ridge. Turning to him, she says her love for him will always be there, will always be so strong. "I believe you feel the same way." Turning back toward Taylor, Brooke says, "You can't have both of us, Ridge. So what's it going to be? You're going to have to choose. Who do you want to spend the rest of your life with?" In the design office, Steffi tells Daphne how grateful she is to her. She put her life in Paris on hold when she asked. That's what true friendship is about. Getting Forrester back was a big challenge, but they accomplished it. Daphne muses that there was a twist. She only has one favor to ask. Carter can never know about their plan. Steffi realizes she's really fallen for him. In the cabin, Hope fumes that Daphne kissed him, and he not only allowed it, but defended her when she told her to pack her bags. "I cannot believe I trusted you with my heart." Carter insists she can still trust him and asks her to give him a chance to fix this. Hope is incredulous. She's been disgraced, humiliated, and slandered again, and he just stood there. Whatever dream they shared, whatever that was, it's over. It is over, Carter. Brooke puts Ridge on the spot in front of Taylor and Hope dumps Carter. The tension in the Forrester mansion was palpable. It was one of those rare moments when the family seemed to be unraveling at the seams, and everything was hanging by a single thread. The dramatic stir of emotions in the air was almost too much to bear for everyone involved. Brooke Logan stood in the center of the room, a confident yet uncertain expression on her face, preparing to confront Ridge Forrester once and for all. This was the moment where everything would change. Ridge had never been good at dealing with conflict, especially when it came to matters of the heart. But now, with both Taylor and Hope standing beside Brooke, the pressure had mounted to the breaking point. Brooke had always been the one to stand her ground, but today, her resolve was firmer than ever. She couldn't back down, not with so much on the line. "You need to tell me the truth, Ridge." Brooke's voice broke through the silence, commanding attention. Her gaze was unwavering as she stared directly at him. "How long were you planning on keeping this secret from me, from Taylor?" Ridge shifted uncomfortably, his eyes flickering nervously from Brooke to Taylor, who stood next to her, arms crossed, her face a mix of disbelief and hurt. Taylor had been through enough, and now, with Brooke's pointed words, it was clear that everything that had been buried for so long was about to be exposed. "Brooke, it's not like that," Ridge started, his voice strained. But Brooke wasn't having it. She wasn't about to let him slip away this time. "Don't do this, Ridge," Brooke snapped. "Don't try to sugarcoat it or make excuses. We've been through this before, and I'm not buying it. You've been playing us both for far too long." The room was thick with tension as Hope, standing beside her mother, gave Ridge a cold, accusatory look. Hope had her own reasons for being upset with Ridge, and now, seeing the man who had once been her stepfather unraveling before her eyes, she couldn't hide her disdain. "Brooke's right," Hope chimed in, her voice laced with bitterness. You've been making a fool of both of them, Ridge. All this back and forth, this merry-go-round you've been putting us through, it's over. Ridge's face hardened as his frustration began to rise. He didn't want to lose control, especially not in front of Taylor and Hope, but it was getting increasingly difficult to keep his composure. He'd always prided himself on being able to handle complicated situations with charm, but now, as Brooke pressed harder, he realized that charm would only get him so far. "You think this is easy for me?" Ridge shot back, his voice thick with frustration. "You think I'm just some villain here to break hearts? I'm trying to make the right decision, but nothing's as simple as it seems. You're not the only ones who are hurt, you know."